Hey guys, Alex here. Welcome back to Core Manufacturing. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make a large diameter lathe part very parallel. Now, a few weeks ago, a friend of mine called me up looking for a body lift for his Ford Bronco. The only body lifts he could find available online were 3 inches tall and made out of plastic. He didn't want this. He wanted an 1.5 inch body lift. And I personally think a body lift should be made out of something a little more substantial than a piece of plastic. So I decided to whip some up for him. Now, seeing as this is a body lift, the opposite sides need to be at least fairly parallel. And this reminded me of a lesson that I was taught by a crusty old machinist back when I was working in the oil and gas shop. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Step 1, call a real machinist. Step 1, saw your part. Now, chances are your saw is not going to cut your part parallel enough to be used on pretty much anything unless you just don't care. So what you'll have to do with your sawn off part, this is step 2, is load it into your chuck. Then step 3, you're going to take a very light skim cut. What I mean by skim cut is maybe 5, maybe 10 thousandths at the most. It doesn't matter if it cuts the whole face or not. Ideally, you don't want it to cut the whole face. Then what you'll do is you'll unchuck your part and you'll flip it over and you'll chuck it back up and you're going to take another skim cut. You'll continue to repeat this process until both sides are cut clean all the way across the face. At this point, you can check your work. Now, using this method, I can basically guarantee that you will be able to get this part parallel on both surfaces within 5 thousandths without taking a single measurement. After you have your surfaces parallel, now you can start hogging and get your part down to size, and it will remain parallel the rest of the time you're working on it. Now, for purposes of this demonstration, I actually have leftover material from when I made those body spacers. It's a 3-inch piece of aluminum stock. It does not fit down my spindle, and even if it did, I wouldn't want to part it off in there anyways. So what I'll do is I will cut it in the saw first, a little bit over my 1.5 inch dimension that I'm shooting for, and then I will show you how we can get this parallel. Also, for the purposes of this demonstration, I have intentionally set my saw 1 degree off just so I can show you how well this method actually works. Okay, so we've just come from the saw. I'm going to show you by measuring this that this thing is in fact way out of parallel. So you see on this side we're at about 1 inch 604, and then if I turn this around and measure the other side, we're about 1 inch 627. So pretty far out of parallel. Okay, so here we are at the lathe. One thing I wanted to just point out with this method is it becomes unnecessary if you are going to be turning a long skinny part, since this does fit all the way down the chuck. The jaws will help align a long skinny part so you don't have to worry too much about achieving parallelism. Another case where this is unnecessary would be if you were turning the outer diameter of the part as well, because you would be able to face off one side and then turn the OD, which would make the face and the outer diameter perpendicular to each other. So when you flipped it over, you would already have good parallelism. All right, so since this is large diameter, I'm gonna have to flip the jaws here. This is gonna be a few minutes. Okay, so we're all set up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the first skim cut. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so one thing to note is you do not need to seat this forcefully onto the jaws whenever you flip it. You just put it in, snug it down, and take another skim cut. If part of the edge has been cut clean, try, if you can, to set that edge on the face of one of the jaws whenever you flip it. No, bird's nest. Okay, so this this is looking like it's probably the last pass, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so now that we've turned it and both sides are clean, we're going to go ahead and take some measurements on it and make sure that it actually is parallel. So I've just come off the lathe and we are going to check and make sure that our part is in fact parallel. And here we have 1" 5/87. And here we have 1" 5/87. And here we have 1" 5/86. So we actually got our part parallel to within 1/1000th without taking any measurements. Okay guys, I've just shown you how you can get a large diameter part to have parallel faces without taking any measurements. I was able to get this even tighter than I thought it was going to be. We got down to a 1/1000th parallelism. This is a great method to use to achieve parallelism. It's easy to do, even if you're a brand new beginner. I've had to use it myself numerous times in the shop, and it never fails to produce a parallel part. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, give a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if you have any manufacturing needs, please feel free to go to my website and send me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And remember, the most important tool in the machine shop is your brain.
You want fries with that?